Good morning again. This is Bonsai Anonymous. I did a little video a few minutes ago about singing, things you can do when you're singing have to sing fast or play fast. As I said, there aren't too many of us that really can do it well. And even those that, and especially, it's interesting, the ones who can really do it well don't do it a lot because they know it's not really, it's hard to listen to. Hard to listen to, that's one way to put it. So anyway, I talked about some things you could do to make it seem like you're singing as fast as eighth notes when you're really not. And this would be the same for a double time lick in a slower tempo. Those would be 16th notes, and you could use these ideas on that if you wanted to. Just a short anecdote. The whole idea about double time is much overrated, I think. And my best example of that is one of my very favorite jazz players, Bill Prince, who I was fortunate enough to be around and work with for some years. I heard him play thousands of wonderful choruses. And in all of those 1,000 choruses, I don't know that I heard him do more than 20 measures of double time total. I don't think that double time has a big place in most music, going twice as fast as the ongoing tempo. Eighth notes is hard enough. To try to do 16th notes is tough. Anyway, so I thought I would make a little video, a second one, to show you how you might work on these ideas and try to remember what they were. That'll be hard for me. Anyway, I've got Cherokee up here at a slow tempo. And I'm going to turn it down a little bit. The last one was a little too loud, even though I like listening to it loud. Okay, so the danger is when you're practicing these ideas at a slow tempo, at this tempo, I can do eighth notes on Cherokee. That's not the issue. The issue is that I can't do them when the tempo is almost twice this fast. So I have to come up with something to do if I'm going to perform. I mean, I play a little bit of jazz trombone, and standing up and trying to play a solo on Cherokee on jazz trombone is terrifying to me. I can't even play quarter notes on trombone at these speeds. So I would really have to think of something to do on trombone, and probably the best thing to do would be to just put it back in the case and let somebody play that can. But anyway, suppose you wanted to work on some of these ideas. How would you do it? I think you would do it the same way, at least I would, the same way that you work on any technical issue, and that is by doing it slowly. As I said, at this tempo, which we're going to listen to in a minute, I can do eighth notes, and I think many people can. But the issue is what to do at fast tempo. So what I'm going to try to do is use this slow tempo to practice some of the ideas that I'm going to try to use when I go faster, and not just do eighth notes like I could, maybe. Let me do a little eighth notes for you so you can see what I mean. This is not a fast tempo. That's not hard. I mean, it's not super easy, but if you have fairly good ears and you know the way the tune goes, those are two very crucial things. I can hear the chords as they're coming up because I know this tune. And so I think probably subconsciously, pick my lines so that when I get to the next chord, I'll be on a cool note for that chord, or at least a note that's in the chord. And sometimes I'm lucky enough to pick a note that's in that chord, but it's not in the previous chord. So it really sounds like I'm making the changes. That's what making the changes is. Hearing the changes in the chords in what you perform. And that's another whole issue. But I can do eighth notes at this tempo. That's not the problem. So how are some of the things I said? How can I help myself do things faster? Well, one is to do ghost notes. Ba and dot and dot and dot and dot. And what I'm really performing is quarter notes. Ba 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 ba. And what I'm singing is dot and dot and dot and dot and dot. So it sounds like I'm singing do 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 or something. Some notes there. There are no notes there. Just ends. Doot-n, 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 doot. And the idea of ghost notes works for trumpet very well, unfortunately for me, because I had to play a fast tune now and then. But I can practice doing those on a slow tempo, and I'm going to show you how that sounds, okay? And if I can't do it to that speed, I might even try. I don't know that I'd have to do half notes at this speed, but quarter notes. Missed the bridge there. And important in this is to not have any of these notes be short. Not do. That sounds awful. In fact, just to throw one of my favorite lines in, jazz is a legato art. And anytime it strays from being legato, it's an exception. I can do quarter notes short rather than that sounds more like a bass line. So if I'm going to do quarter notes with no in between, probably would make them short. Boom. That sounds fine. But what I'm practicing here is that's eighth notes. I got to turn this up. I'm having a little trouble hearing it now that I turned it down so low. And if you notice, the quarter notes are on the beat. It's not dun 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 dun. It's not dun dun dun. That's really awkward to sing. Even though most of the time when we accent notes, they are the afterbeats. Da-do, 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 da-do. That's after the beats accent, not do-do-do-do-do. That we don't do unless we're doing this little bit with the faking eighth notes. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do. And the problem is that at this speed, it doesn't really swing very well. Okay, but when we go twice as fast, we'll find the effect of us doing that makes it sound like we're actually singing twice as fast as we are. Okay, some other things you can do. You can repeat notes. Okay, one of my friends in college, Dave Bennett, a great sax player, I think he lives in New York now, but he was a master at putting repeated notes in eighth note lines to push them forward, and I can't do that, but I can do it with repeated notes. Now you can hear that since I'm actually performing a note on the afterbeat, I accent. Okay, now more repeated notes. And of course, I forgot to say you could mix articulations up. It's all sorts of combinations. Just be careful though that you don't do too many Z's and D's. That doesn't really sound like jazz to me. It sounds like something else. Zee da zee da zee. That doesn't sound like any instrument. So is the way I prefer to do it. Okay, more repeated notes. That's four of them. Here's two. I guess I could do three. Four. And it's a nice exercise to try to do five. I don't think I can do it on five, sorry. Okay, so, and that's enough of that. Now, eighth notes can be practiced, and just to repeat, this is a slow tempo, and I think I could do eighth notes in a line at this tempo, even though I probably wouldn't for very long, for the same reason I wouldn't at a fast tempo. It's boring, and The other thing about things that are fast is that you can't hear everything. And in some cases, that's good. When I'm doing double time, I really don't want people to actually hear what I'm playing many cases, because a lot of it is spurious, as we say. But it works with harmony. Too many fast chords, hard to hear. Too many fast notes, hard to hear. And that's why, just to pick an example, saxophone players who play, I don't know if it's called boot style, where they're honking notes out in the blues, that always gets the audience growing and going. They're clapping. They like it because they can hear it. It's kind of loud and repetitive. Repetition is not bad. So you could use this idea of repetition, not just reading notes, but repeating licks. Okay, and then when you do that, you have the opportunity to think a little bit and possibly change the lick for the next chord. I don't know if I can do this very well, but we'll try. Think about this one. Not a great demonstration, but repeating the licks. With a little variation. Okay, so that's just another device which helps hold the solo together if you repeat things. And you can actually make it interesting for yourself by repeating them and changing them to fit the next chord. Can you hear the change? Okay, put some chromatic notes in. So repetition, it's a good idea. Okay, what else did I say? Putting rests in a line. This is very similar to the thing, the ghost notes. Now that was a long rest, and that's something I need to do more. It's called a rest for more than just the fact that there's no sound. It's also you give your ears a rest and your mouth a rest and your mouthpiece a rest and all that. And let the audience catch up with you a little bit. Now the other thing that will help you to do this, as I said before, if you know the tune and you can hear the next chord coming in, you can actually get to the chord change early. Trying to get to the note in the next chord early, and that can add interest to it. I think 14 minutes is more than you probably have listened to, but if you did get this far, thank you. If you heard anything you like, give me a like and subscribe. I don't rely on the income from YouTube, fortunately. I think I've gotten 1/10 of a cent so far. This is more fun for me, and it helps me get my thoughts together a little bit. And believe me, that's something. Bonsai Anonymous out.